All right, guys, let's get into it. Packer Prep Week 6-7 versus the Bengals. Hey, it's a rematch week. We seem to be getting many of those at Waller Stadium at 6 p.m. Just a beautiful time on Saturday night. Hey, you guys that want to stretch or play some catch, just know that James and I are usually there about 20 plus minutes early. That gives us time to stretch and sort of play some catch and ease into the pregame warm-up. So just a little nod to that. Please show up at 5 p.m. with your cleats, mouthpiece, ready to go. For what? Well, hey, on Monday we talked about commitment, and I just want to review and revisit that right now, right here. What we talked about on the screen there is my best attempt to sort of coalesce or put together what you guys wanted to say about commitment. And what you guys said was brilliant, from Gavin to Egan to James to Andrew. You guys had some great insight. It was something like this. You want to focus on something like a goal and work towards it even when things don't go your way. And what's so neat about that, and why does that relate to us, is our commitment to the Packers. And, you could worry about scores and records, and you're welcome to worry about sacks and touchdowns. But if we're going to commit to the Packers, it's about getting better. And I think you're doing that. I think you're playing well together. I think you get along. I think you guys communicate. And I think you're running the offense pretty seamlessly, and you're executing the defense rather well as on that note too. So this video is much in that line, so let's keep doing that, all right? All right, Special Forces. That's our guys that kick off and receive on those kicking part of the game. You guys didn't know this about our Special Forces. You're looking at a picture of the Army Rangers, the Green Berets. They're a small, adaptable team that carries out high-risk assignments. Through direct action, they conduct short offensive strikes to capture, disable, and destroy enemy personnel and their equipment and facilities. That's exactly what Gavin, Liam, Winston, Andrew, the switch player, Sawyer, the amazing kicker, Max, Andrew, and James, and Egan do as special forces for our kickoff. We put that ball in the coffin corner, and then we send our special forces out behind enemy lines for a short offensive strike to disable them and pin them in the corner. So keep doing that, guys. I think it's going well. If we get those kicks inside the 5-yard line, we are meeting our goals. Hey, speaking of special forces, we got the return side. The return side of Egan and Lewis finding and hooking up one of their better athletes and blocking him. Gavin and Max doing that. Winston and Caleb doing that. And then they tend to like to kick to Andrew as opposed to Sawyer. So Sawyer, go be part of the fight that gets us our goal. We want to return a kickoff or a punt for a touchdown. That's a goal this season. Let's get better. Let's join the blocking and work together to do that. All right, so not much changes there. Hey, pack attack, that's our defense. We did an outstanding job last week sticking in cover 3 and keeping things in front of us for most of the game. I think you guys played 3 quarters of fantastic football. Some clear standouts were containers like Lewis, knocking down passes by Max and Egan, staying in good position. You guys are doing good things as a team. Let's keep that up. And if you'll notice, if we stay in cover 3 the whole game, that doesn't – we can mix it up now, guys. That's where we're going to get better. So we're going to play cover 3, but we're also going to mix in this new defensive blitz called Lambo. That's where we send a Winston or a James type blitzing off the edge. And James or Winston, when you get there, tell the defensive end to go in, not inside or in between the beanbags, but just inside of that guard. And then the backside defensive end away. Just make sure you take a real contain arc because there's going to be lots of pressure that's going to invite him to run to you and get your sack. So make sure you contain him. Load ups, corners, cover 1, right? Lambo, named after this guy, Curly Lambo, or Earl was his first real name. So Earl Curly Lambo, that's what we're naming our Packer blitz after. So just some basics here. Corners have the widest receiver on their side. I like to call that number 1. Strong safety loads up on number 2 right here to the receiver side, right? And then the will is going to sneak over and be centered up. He's going to sneak over pre-snap and be centered up. And just know this, Max, Egan, or Sawyer, he's got to throw, whoever the quarterback is, got to throw it right now. So just be ready for that now pass, read his eyes, and try to get in that interrupt, disrupt, or even intercept that quick, hesitant, panicky pass. What happens if this H comes out? We need to leave our will guy inside. Okay, so that's going to be the free safety. So that's how we adjust there. So free safety, if that H goes in motion this way, you would have him. If he goes in motion the other way, you would still have him. So the free safety will take that motion. That leaves our will to be inside and clean up any mess in here. That's what we just talked about. If they're in sort of this open doubles look like we run, we're going to cover 0. Corners have the widest receiver, number 1. The free and strong safety have the number 2 receiver. Hey, reminder, cover 1, if number 2 goes in motion, we go with him. If number 1 goes in motion, we go with him. Pretty simple, right, guys? If there's motion, we go with motion, all right? The will guy, which would be Max, Egan, or Sawyer, just be ready to clean up in the middle, all right? Be ready to clean up in the middle. Here's that same idea in trips. So if it were trips, corner on 1, strong safety on 2, and the free safety get over there pre-snap, don't be late, and go with guarding number 3. Just a hint here, corner, I'm not going to draw it up, but let's say there was a running back in the backfield and we had trips over here, the corner would have that running back man. So corner, line up and make sure you have him man, all right? So that's it. That's our defense. Let's switch to offense. This is our play, our new play, Crazy Z's, real simple. We're going to stick Sawyer out here for a screen pass to the wide receiver. In the old days, I would call this laser because it's to the left. It'd be rocket if it were to the right. This is laser. Whoops. So Sawyer, take a couple steps forward and then come back behind. Behind who? All the Z's. All the Z-men. Gavin, you're up first here. You're going to block the widest guy. The widest defender would be number 1. Egan, you two are the best blockers I've seen in a long time at wide receiver. That's why you guys are out here at the widest point. And so you've earned that privilege. You guys are great because you look at the guy and you move your feet to get in his way. Liam, you're the last Z. You're learning. Be careful because this guy might not be over you. He might actually stay pretty close because that's Max and Andrew. If he stays pretty close, do not block in the back. We talked about this on Monday. You race down the line and yell, hey, and you only block him if you can see his face. You only block him if you can see his face. All right? Race down the line and yell, hey, and if you don't see his face, that's enough to cause him to hesitate, and that's all Sawyer needs. Pretty simple rule. On the Crazy Z's play, all the guards come out. All the guards come out, and all the Z's are in. Real quick note here. Andrew, if James says Drew or Al, your initials for Andrew Lineky. Drew or Al, you run a quick lineman release. As soon as you clear the DN, get your head around. And if they're messed up over here on the backside, that's a good football play for us. So Drew or Al will get Andrew out. As soon as you clear the lineman, get your head around for a pass, and James will find you, and you're off to the races, all right? Oh, I love this next play. Hey, this is a build on a play we're already doing, but just look at this pulling guy. Boom! Let's run that back. Watch 84. Caleb, Winston, when you're pulling, whoever else pulls, like look at 84 here. He gets his eyes downfield, and he finds an opposite colored jersey, and he gets it. What's the play I'm talking about? Option. Same play we've been running. I just want to get it to the H. R and H, I could just say H option, or I could say R orbit, and that would be R option, right? And, just as you run this arc, as soon as you take that step back, get your eyes inside Caleb or Liam or Gavin or, that's everybody, or Winston. As soon as you take that step back, get your eyes inside. The Z's got to block this defensive end. You got to block him. Why? Because James is taught to race 3 steps straight towards the sideline. Straight towards the sideline. The H on your orbit motion, get just on top of James, if not just past him. And you're going to stay 3 to 4 yards away and about 1 yard ahead of him as he runs down. You stay just about ahead of him. In a perfect world, this pitch is right straight across. Sawyer catches it because the defender picked James, and then Sawyer's on the edge and we like those options. We like those chances. All right. We can tag an R go. R, do not run your route into the single high safety. Try to get behind him. If there's two safeties, you just need to be inside this guy and let James throw to open grass, and you go make the catch, right? So again, if there's a single safety, you're trying to get behind him. If there's two safeties, you just need to be inside the guy on your side, and then James will lead you to open grass. All right, one last new play. If we can make it work, let's make it work, guys. This is where I wrap up the video. We're getting Gavin to throw the ball. So Gav, James is going to shift and block like crazy on the end. Gav, you're going to shift into QB, make a nice loud clap. Maybe down, clap like that, nice and loud. And then ideally, you're 3 steps for depth, and then you start attacking the line of scrimmage. And what are you looking for? You're looking for Andrew, who's going to chip and race for that front corner of the end zone. And that's your first read. If that's not there because a corner is disciplined, you've got a second read, which will be either Max or Sawyer. You got a second read in the middle back of the end zone, and you can always run it. And running it is super awesome. It's a good option. Let me wrap up this play by talking about the T and the H. One of you goes. That's why there's this weird route line, and you're trying to get to the middle back of the end zone. And how do you know which person goes? Well, if both of you are covered, if one of you is uncovered, that's the guy that goes. So in this case, the H has a lineman in front of him, so he's going to stay and block. The T goes. If both of you happen to be covered, we still need a second option, so that's going to be the H. The H will go. Sawyer, get magical, get skinny, find a way to fit between those guys and be an option for Gavin back here. Gav, just a quick note about that. We have an unblocked guy. You've got to move fast. You've got to move fast. You've got to move fast away, right? Towards the sideline, right? You get your first 3 steps are gaining depth and getting away. So that's it, guys. The Z will throw. The R will chip and get width. Andrew might have to make a front pylon diving catch. I got all the faith in the world that you'll pull it off. H and T, just a little review on the slide there about what I just talked about. Hey, go Packers. Let's do this.